There are some pairs of English words that are confusing. And in this video, we've chosen these 4 pairs of words in British English that are confusing for people learning English and sometimes native English speakers too. For each word, we're going to hear how to say it, understand the most common meaning, and understand popular ways of using the word, especially when speaking. Hi, I'm Kathy. I love to talk and chat in English, and I'm here with Justin to help you understand, pronounce, and use these words when speaking English.
Hello, my name is Justin. I'm a performing arts professional based in the south of France. I teach actors both in film and theatre skills, and I also work with the local business community, for example, helping local managers become better presenters.
Let's take a look at our first pair of words, accept and accept. Accept commonly means to receive or to take something that is offered. I accept your invitation to dinner. Thank you. You have invited me to dinner and I have agreed to go. Accept commonly means leaving out something or someone, to not include it or them. Everyone went into the house except Dad, who stayed in the garden. Dad was the only person to stay outside. All the others went inside. The words accept and accept mean different things. However, it can be hard to hear the difference in the way the words are said.
Accept and accept. Accept and accept sound very similar. The difference is the sound at the beginning of each word. Listen carefully. See if you can hear it. Accept, accept. Now let's start looking at the pronunciation of the word accept. The beginning of the word is spelt A-C and sounds like this, ac. The second part of the word is spelt C-E-P-T, sept. Sept. Now let's put that together, accept. Now you try it. Nice. Let's now hear some examples of accept in everyday English. She accepts the present that he offers. He accepted the invitation to his grandfather's birthday party. His grandfather was 80 years old. When you say sorry to someone, they might say, I accept your apology, but don't do it again. You might say, I accept the situation, when you realize you can't change a situation. And accept the situation and move on is an expression that means it's time to stop trying to change things and get on with your life.
Here are 3 more things that can be useful to know. 1. We know we accept an invitation when we want to go to the event. The opposite of accepting an invitation is declining an invitation. If I decline the invitation, I will not go to dinner with you. 2. When you apologize to someone, you offer an apology. Hopefully, your apology is accepted and you are forgiven. Sometimes an apology is not accepted. We refuse or reject an apology. 3. A useful construction is, I accept that, but. It is a way of being nice before you disagree with something, so it can be useful in business or any situation where you want to avoid conflict. For example, it can be used to answer questions asking for your opinion. Do you think it's a good idea? Well, I accept that it could work, but I need to think about it more. Why do you think the project failed? Well, I accept that there were problems with the project, but I don't agree that it failed. What do you think about this plan? I accept that this plan is a good start, but it needs more detail.
We've heard about the word accept, so let's hear more about the word accept. Accept is said in a similar way to accept. It is just the first sound that is different. This time the first two letters are E and X. X. And the last part is the same, sept. So it sounds like this, accept. Now you try. Very good. Here are some examples of how to use accept. The shops are open every day except Thursday. So the shops are closed on Thursdays. I like all the chocolates in this box except for the ones that are white chocolate. You can eat all of those. Everyone is celebrating the new year except for John, who is working. John isn't having much fun. It is sunny every day this week except for rain on Thursday. So bring your umbrella on Thursday.
As we've seen in the examples, accept is about leaving out something or someone. You can usually reword things to focus on what is left out. For example, remember, the shops are open every day except Thursdays means the shops are closed on Thursdays. I like all the chocolates in this box except the coffee creams means that I don't like the coffee cream chocolates. And now we know more about accept and accept, let's move on to our next pair of confusing words. Bought and brought. Bought means that you have paid money to get something. Brought means to take or accompany someone or something to a place. Bought is often confused with brought by people learning English and some native English speakers because the words sound so similar. Here's why.
Bought and brought. Bought and brought sound almost the same and are spelt almost the same. There is an R in brought that isn't in bought. Can you hear the difference? Bought, brought. Let's start by looking at the word bought. It begins with a consonant B, a strong B sound, and is followed by the letters O-U-G-H, which makes a OR sound, and a final T at the end. So putting that together, the word sounds like this. Bought. Now you try. Very good. Here is bought being used in conversation. I've been shopping. Guess what I bought? Well, I don't know. A shirt? Yes, in fact, I bought 3 shirts. Did you buy me anything? Of course. One of the shirts is for you, and 2 are for me.
Another word for bought is purchased. Bought is used much more in everyday conversation. I bought some chocolates is more natural to say than I purchased some chocolates. Purchased is usually used for more formal or organised payments, for example, in business. A company may have a purchasing department that has control of buying the things that the company needs.
Now we've heard about the word bought. What about brought? Remember the sound brought includes an R. It begins with a strong consonant followed swiftly by a soft R. Brought. Can you hear it? Now you try. Very good. Here are some examples using brought. She brought a pile of books to him. She delivered the books to his desk. The courier brought the package to her front door. He was gone before she opened the door. The waitress brought our drinks to the table. Cheers. The dog brought the ball to the lady, but it looks like the dog wants to keep the ball.
As people easily get these words mixed up when they say them or write them, you are not alone if you say brought when you mean bought, or bought when you mean brought. However, it is helpful to hear the right word being used. So, bought is purchased with money, brought, taken to a place. And now we know about bought and brought, let's move on to our next pair of confusing words.
Than and then. Than and then sound almost the same. Just one letter changes, an A and an E. Can you hear the difference? Than, then. Let's start by looking at the word than. Than is split into two parts, the TH, the sound, and the second part, the AN, an. Put that together and it sounds like this, than. Now your turn. Very good.
Than is used when making comparisons, such as, your hair is curlier than mine.
Here are some examples of than being used to make comparisons. I am taller than you. You are taller than me. Watching the film was better than reading the book. Actually, I prefer plays. I looked at my watch and it was later than I thought.
Let's look at some of the words that go naturally with than when talking. We say other than to express an exception. I will eat nothing other than chocolate, meaning I will only eat chocolate. More than and less than are both used when making comparisons. It is more than I expected. It is less than I expected. And rather than is used to highlight a preference. I would like to go to the cinema rather than the ice rink. On her birthday, she wanted flowers rather than chocolates.
Now we've heard about the word than, let's hear about the word then. Remember, it's very similar to than, except this time there's an E in the word. The first part of the word, the TH, is a the, and the second part is the EN, which makes the sound then, N. Putting it together, then. Now your turn. Very good.
Then is used to clarify timing and order, such as I got up, then I had breakfast, then I went to work.
Here are some examples of then being used when organizing time and order. I took a bus to the bank and then I walked home. The first action, I took the bus. The second action, I went home. I ate one donut, then I ate another, and then another, until there was only one left. You need to read it and then sign it, not the other way around.
Now let's look at some of the words that go with then in everyday conversation. The phrase now and then means occasionally. Now and then I oversleep, meaning sometimes I don't wake up on time. But then again, this expression goes before something that slightly disagrees with what you've just said. For example, I like milk chocolate, but then again, I also enjoy dark chocolate and white chocolate. I think it's crazy to skydive, but then again, why not? Go on then are words that go together to encourage someone to do something. Go on then, jump. Go on then, eat it. And now we know more about than and then, let's move on to our last pair of confusing words. Lend and borrow. You may be surprised how many people get lend and borrow confused, and how many native English speakers need to think twice before selecting the right word. Here's one reason why. Lend is to give something to someone and expect to get it back. He lends her his pencil for the day, so she has to return it at the end of the day. Borrow is the opposite of lend, And when you borrow something, you have it until you return it to the owner. He is borrowing my car for the weekend, so he will return it to me when the weekend is over. People sometimes say lend when they mean borrow, and borrow when they mean lend. I will lend you $1. You can borrow $1 from me. It's confusing to hear I will borrow you $1 because it isn't correct to say that. May I borrow your bike? Will you lend me your bike? It's confusing to hear will you borrow me your bike because it isn't correct to say that.
Lend and borrow. Of course, lend and borrow sound completely different. Lend begins with an L, and ends with END, end. So put that together and it sounds like this. Lend. You say that. Very good. Borrow is said like this with a strong beginning, B-O sound, bo, followed by 2 R's, bor, and ending with a R-O-W, row. Putting that together, it sounds like this. Borrow. Borrow. Now you try. Very good. Let's hear both words in action. Let's imagine you're out shopping with a friend. When you come to pay for your shopping, you realize you've forgotten your wallet at home. Oh no, I've just realized I've left my wallet at home. Can you lend me some money to buy these things? Sure. How much do you need? Can I borrow €50? That will pay for these things, a drink, and my bus ride home. Okay. So there are a couple of ways to ask to borrow some money. Can I borrow some money? Can you lend me some money? And there are a couple of ways to offer money to someone. Do you want to borrow some money? Can I lend you some money?
So we've looked at these 4 pairs of words that can be confusing for people learning English and some native English speakers. Often, words are confusing when they sound similar, like accept and accept, bought and brought, than and then. However, confusing word pairs can also be just difficult to figure out, like lend and borrow. If this video has pleased and informed you, do give it a like and ding the notification bell. Goodbye for now and see you at the next video.